In today's video, we're going to look at how to create line graphs. These are one of my most favorite graphs, and I'm very, very big on the visuals when it comes to data. So line graphs are used to show change over time, and it's a progression across several points. So you're looking at from one point to another, and so you're looking at a lot of data. Not all line graphs are created the same though. I've got two different ones here for a very specific reason. When you look at this one, you'll notice this is text-based with class in front of it. Whereas this second one here with year and the GDP is dates in front of it with the number formatting here. So these two things are going to be different when we look at them. So when you talk about important points to remember for line graphs, they work from past to present. So the oldest dates are always going to be at the top and the newest dates are at the bottom. So when we pull this out, what we can do here is we can highlight our class and our composites here, and we can go to insert. So our line graphs are right here. We'll choose 2D. I'm not a big fan of the 3D line graphs. And so you notice one of the things about that kind of annoys me is I would much prefer it to look like that. Going up and down, it's a lot easier to read than it is, because once I make it too big, you see how it gets there. I like that. Not a fan of that though. So we're going to go here, make this a little larger, and then you'll notice when we're here, I've got different things I can do. For example, working along the top, I can change the layout from right here. So I can go across and choose different ones. So this is a pretty easy way just to kind of do some changes with it. Some of these don't make sense, like I don't know why you would ever use that. But for me, I tend to prefer one that looks like this. And the first thing I'm going to do is come up here and I'm going to click on this plus. And I'm going to uncheck these axis titles. And you notice those disappear because I don't need them. It's pretty much figured out already what this is. Now at the same time, I don't necessarily need this legend here. I can take that out because I already know, because with the title being ACT Composite, I already know what this is for myself. Now, when I look at this, I can also go up here to change the colors, and I can change it this way, but at the same time, if I click on the line itself, I can come over here to Format, Shape Outline, and I can change it that way as well. So there's a couple different ways to change the color. When you click on the text right here, you can go into formatting, and you'll notice here you can make changes if you want to do word art. You can also go to the Home tab, very simple, bold. Then I can come here and bold. The same thing here, bold, so it's a little bit easier to read. Now, when I am right here though, there's one of the things that I want to do is I want to click and double click on these numbers right here. And that's going to bring up this format the axis. So what I want to do is I want to change this a little bit. I'm just going to say my minimum is 15.0 and my maximum is going to be 21.0. That would be my preference. So you'll see the major units are 1. I'm actually going to make that and make these, let's say, 0.2. And so that's too close. So let's go 0.5. So there we go. Now I can close that. And now I've got half marks, and I've got this along the bottom, and then here's my trend. So it's pretty up and down based on the fake numbers that I threw in there. But one of the coolest features with this is going to be this feature right here, this filter. I can click on this filter and you'll see where I can select different things. So for example, let's unselect all, and let's say we want to just look at the last 4 years, 23, 22, 21, and then 20. Click apply. And now you'll notice that same graph only pulls those 4, and it gives me that glimpse into that specific 4 years. So this is a really, really nice feature within Excel, and this ability to go in and use the filter, because I may only want to look at certain things. Like for example, I may want to look at, say, and select all. Let's say I just want to look at this part right here. So there's 2006 to 2009. So one of the things for me might be a question of, okay, well, what happened from 2006 2007? Were there any major changes or anything? What did we do different here? So you can kind of go in and really looking as kind of a glimpse in and a microscopic view of this larger chart. So you see how this sets up, pretty simple. I'm going to drag it down here for now. And primarily because I need a little bit more space, I want to work with the other one. So we'll put it right here. And remember now how easy this was. All we did was copy this, and then we got our chart. And we could very easily go up here and change, make pretty simple changes to it. Now, one of the things here you'll see is text and dates are not treated the same. And so I want to show you what's going to happen here. So let's go over here and copy this. And we're going to say insert another line chart. Now, right away we have a problem. For one, years are treated just the same as GDP, so you notice that flat line here. So now we got to do a little bit of work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here to select data, and we're going to uncheck the year, and we're going to click on this horizontal and click edit. So it says axis label range. Well, that is going to be the dates. And when we click OK, now we'll see that right here, here's our GDP, and now here are our dates. And so GDP in billions. So that's how we have to do that. Because these are dates and because they're treated as numbers, so what we had to do, remember, is we went into select data and we unchecked year. We can just remove it actually. So we have GDP in billions, which is this column. And then the horizontal is the years themselves. So we have to do it separately and split them. And then we get our GDP. And we can do the same thing earlier. We can go in here and make different changes, however we want to do this. We can go into the filter. Let's say we just want to look, for example, 2007, 2008, 2009. Okay, so now this is really gets good. So we weren't able to go in and look at that area. And now we can look specifically at the drop from 2008 to 2009 when we had that massive economic downturn, and then we had reached our bottom point and started to push back up. So when we go back and look at this at the whole, you notice how small that looks. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's not that big a drop when you look at it. So that's kind of the big advantage here to being able to go into this filter, is that we can take what looks like something minor, and when we do that and bring it up, it actually looks much more major when we kind of go into that viewpoint. So it's a big deal. It's very helpful to use these filters. It's also very important to understand the difference between how this sets up with the year and then how this sets up with the class. Knowing the difference between the two will help you a lot, and being able to develop graphs and being able to use them in your classes is a very important point, in particular because you can copy these and you can paste directly into PowerPoint. Nice and big. You can still use the filters while you're in there. So there's a lot of advantages to developing and understanding how to develop your own graphs. I could easily go online and get this exact same information off the internet. The difference here is though is I can actually work with this and manipulate it and really show what I want to show, whereas I can't necessarily do that with a graph that I just download off the internet. So it's important to be able to build your own graphs with your data and being able to work with them and manipulate them.